Sup folks, have you ever wondered what it would be like to be a kid again and have fun with your friends running around the neighborhood playing games? Well, if that sounds like a game you would be interested in playing, this sure as heck ain't it.
This is Neighborhood Games, 24 family games, brought to you by the wonderful people over at THQ. So to get a good idea of what we're getting into, let's see what they're up to nowadays. Well, this sure gives me hope for quality gameplay. Welcome to the neighborhood, where the fun never ends. It's a blast, play 24 unique twists on classic neighborhood games, including football, golf, tennis, ladder golf, trademark, lawn darts, horseshoes, bocce, and more. Throw the football, shoot the basketball, toss the horseshoe, and roll the bocce ball, all familiar motions with the Wii remote.
How much you want to bet it's just another Wii Sports clone?
Well, enough of just looking at the box, let's pop the disc in and actually get to playing. So first of all, we gotta make a knockoff me to play the game with, because what else do you expect out of this game? This game did come out in 2009, so obviously our character has to be grunge, jock, punk, breakdancing type, because that makes sense.
Most of the character customization options are left behind actually playing the game, which is something Wii Sports would never do.
After a brief cutscene of us moving into the neighborhood, which I skipped, we're brought to the game menu with only 5 games. You start out only having 5 games unlocked, and you have to beat them in order to unlock the rest, which are also just variations on the original 5. And even if we do unlock them all, that's still only 15 games.
You wanna know why there are only 15 games? Because over half of the games are locked behind the multiplayer mode. And as I am only one person, and the fish is banned from gaming, to get the most out of this game, we're gonna have to play through every single one of the single player games.
First things first is lawn darts. First one to get 30 points wins. Each turn you get to throw 3 darts. Now here's something not great. For a game controlled by motion, it's important that it's easy to control. This game is absolutely not. I tried holding the Wii remote like a dart, tried a swing going down, and a whole bunch of other stuff, and none of it really worked. The solution was, actually, to play it like Wii bowling. This is lawn darts. Another issue is that distance is just so hard to judge in this minigame, and it doesn't help that the slightest difference in swing can wildly change how far you throw it. Beating this game took more attempts than I'd like to admit, and it really just wasn't that fun. The minigame we unlock after beating lawn darts is called Dart Ball. It's baseball, but played with darts. I thought this was completely made up, but it turns out it's a real thing and you can buy dart ball boards. Now, this game has the same controls as the original lawn darts, and likewise took me about the same amount of attempts to beat, but once you figure it out, you can just do the same thing over and over again to win easily. Next, we have water darts, and it's basically throwing darts into rings in a pool to get points. Either this game is a whole lot easier than the other two, or I've just gotten used to the controls at this point. But this was an easy win. The bigger rings are worth less points, and the smaller rings are worth more. The red rings subtract points, and honestly the whole thing's pretty simple.
So now that we have darts out of the way, we can finally move on to something different, and that is horseshoes.
This minigame takes place in a random dump in the middle of town, but hey, at least we're not playing lawn darts. Wouldn't you know it, this game controls exactly the same. Even though these controls are still awful, the fact that we've had time to get used to them means that beating the computer isn't the hardest thing in the world, but this game is just honestly kind of boring. Super Battle Shoes is actually probably the first of these 24 family games that actually is slightly fun to play. It's basically just Battleship but played on water with horseshoes.
Now, even though this minigame is fun, I don't really think it's a game a lot of people would have played around the neighborhood. Actually, a lot of these minigames kind of fit that description. Speaking of which, the final horseshoe minigame is horseshoe herding.
In this game, you're in a competition against a cowboy kid and you're throwing horseshoes to scare chickens into the coop on either side. That's about it.
So now it's time to move on to shuffleboard. And shuffleboard doesn't even work because why would it?
So moving past shuffleboard, we have bocce ball. The goal of this game is to just roll a colored ball and have your ball be closer to a white ball than your opponent. This game has the same controls as the other two, but as you're just rolling a ball, it actually works pretty well.
So after this fairly tame game, we have Animal Abuse Simulator.
You're fighting with someone to see how many wild animals you can kill before a timer runs out. My favorite neighborhood game.
Man, I ain't even gonna lie, this minigame's better than all the other ones in this game besides maybe Super Battle Shoes. I mean, this game's just terrible.
After this, we have an easy game called Bocce Beach Bounce. Say that 5 times fast. The computer in this game sucks at it so much you can just do the same thing over and over and over again and just keep scoring points. Seriously, you didn't get a single point on me this entire time. So the final game is basketball, and it sounds fun enough, but it uses the exact same control scheme that every other game does. And that just does not translate well to basketball. I played this game for 20 minutes and the computer didn't even make more than 6 points. You need 21 to win.
Alright, that's it. I've had it with this stupid game. If we're gonna play basketball, we're gonna play it on something that's actually good.
Now this is quality gameplay.